we have a group of 6 people from Singapore arrive, having dinner on the terrace, beautiful, everything's correct. And during the dinner, rats pass in the trees. 6 Singaporeans jump on the table and scream like hell for 5 minutes non-stop. If the revenue is growing, we share more to the team. So I want to move. Yes, it's needed.
Well, maybe because your pocket already fit enough.
I got this sentence a couple of days ago.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Arrival podcast on the Hotel Vietnam. And welcome to first restaurant in Vietnam, which received the World French Restaurant in 2025. And welcome to Le Comptoir, Michelin selected restaurant in Danang. And Olivier, welcome to our show today.
Thank you for inviting me. Welcome to Le Comptoir, welcome to Danang.
Thank you. I'm so happy to see you guys again.
Pleasure is mine, and we had the chance to host you lately and discover our new menu and new interior and new restaurant design. So thanks for joining us and exchange a couple of words.
Hotelier Việt Nam rất hân hạnh đồng hành cùng với Hải Yến, tập đoàn chuyên tư vấn cung cấp các giải pháp là nhà thầu và nhà sản xuất các thiết bị bếp và giàn lạt công nghiệp. Thank you Hải Yến Group for sponsor our program today, and Hải Yến especially just specialize in producing kitchen equipment and laundry, and besides that Hải Yến also offer different options and is a consultant in the kitchen hospitality industry in Vietnam. So, bonjour Olivier.
Enchanté.
Je suis très heureux de te recevoir. Comment dit en français, c'est correct ou c'est pas correct?
Je suis très heureux de vous recevoir.
Ah, de vous recevoir. Enchanté.
And it should be in the opposite. It should be me to say, je suis très heureux de vous recevoir.
Enchanté. Just joking, because Olivier is French guy, and also I speak a little bit French. That is why I want to say hello to him in French language. But actually the idea is that we want to tell the people about the French cuisine in Da Nang in Vietnam, because it's the first restaurant received certificate as the World French restaurant in Vietnam.
Exactly.
Tell me a little bit about when did you first in love with cuisine?
First, I arrived in Vietnam in 2017, and I didn't plan at first to fall that much in love. So we arrived, my girlfriend was having a nice contract for one of the most well-known places in Danang called Intercontinental. And then at that time, I couldn't find a position that fit myself. But I'm a cuisinier since day one. I've been working in the kitchen at first when I was 14 years old, but I was cooking with my grandma probably the first time I was 6 years old. So it's really something that I had around me and I had for years. And the spirit was to do it. I was very good at school until my 13 years old, where I started to feel myself out of the box. And I couldn't continue the classic school way that they give you in France. So I decided to move straight to kitchen. And by traveling to Vietnam and arriving here, with the experience that has been done earlier, I was extremely happy that I could be a kind of ambassador of the French cuisine here in Da Nang. And especially now, as you mentioned right before, we have the chance this year to be granted a title called World French Restaurant. What that means, it's a diploma, a certification that it's given by the French government. Spirit, consistency, quality, and overall experience is a true French establishment. And that is given to the world since 3 years now. And we are the first in Vietnam. But it doesn't mean we are the best or we are the worst. It's not a winning competition. It's just for
recognition.
Exactly. And for French people, you know, this title gives you the right to be a teacher. It gives you the right to be an ambassador of it. And I think there is many things to be proud as a French, but especially the gastronomy and the culinary scene. Because it's where we grew up with. And I came from Lyon. Lyon is just surrounded by good restaurants and good chef and spirit from the whole moms that was doing amazingly good food by the time, and more, and now it's getting even better.
Do you know what we say about Lyon? Lyon is the French capital of culinary.
Exactly.
Correct?
Exactly, but we are at the angle of so many good gastronomy. We got the Italian gastronomy, we got the German and the Switzerland specialties, we got all the French converged to Lyon because it has been a very big capital, economical capital. And Lyon has been dispositioned in the world in the past and the actual as a big transit area. So we had so much good product and so much possibility to receive good product. So Lyon is not only a culture, it's a spirit. I remember grew up in Lyon. The only moment I could reach my dad, and it's part of the name of Le Comptoir, is by having a lunch or a dinner. We don't catch up at home because he finished too late and I couldn't see him. I was falling asleep before he came back. But the best moment was when I could give him a call and we could reach each other around a nice lunch or a nice dinner, and most of the time on a counter.
And Le Comptoir in English, in French, it means that the counter bar.
Exactly.
The place where people sit to order drink or to order the food, correct?
Dan, you're right. It's exactly this. It's the mindset and it's the mood. You know, it has been done a restaurant. At first, Le Comptoir was 4 tables and 3 high chairs and only 6 people working here. And we've been extremely lucky and granted by the time with more and more customer and more team member, and that made us became more and more successful. What it's right now, Le Comptoir, it's uncomparable to what it is 6 years ago. But this evolution is nice, it's bright, it's something that I'm extremely proud of it. And in the same time, for who cannot travel to France or Europe or Paris, coming to us and visiting us is a part of France. And that's why between the recognition of World French Restaurant, the 7 years now spending in Danang by trying to push the gastronomy and the food scene in Danang by my French roots, that's kind of a mission, I can say. And that's what I'm trying.
Actually, I like the French word Le Comptoir. It's not only meaning that the bar counter, the place people sit to order drink or food. It is the many French people or many French restaurants inspired by this word. And name a lot of restaurants in France named Le Comptoir.
Definitely.
One of them is very famous, one Le Comptoir Le Galais. Also,
Exactement.
that is why, how to say that the big honor to have Le Comptoir here in Da Nang and in Vietnam. But you guys, to my knowledge and my memory, you have been working in some Michelin restaurant in the south of France or in Hong Kong, correct?
So since my 14, I start to move to culinary school straight, because I really want to stop going to school without a main target, a main vision. And that vision was, I want to be a chef. And the fact is, you know, when you start learning, you're gonna have different style, different angle, different desire. Me, my desire was I want to try every single style of restaurant, every single style of cuisine. So after a couple of weeks and months in Lyon, training myself between school and restaurant, I decided that it was time for me to move. So I moved to south of France, as you say. And what is the best school than a Michelin restaurant to start? Especially when you are young. Why? Because it's gonna give you a frame. It's gonna give you an understanding of the pressure. Why? Because a star Michelin, it's many things, but it's also one thing we don't talk much. It's the internal pressure. What it means? We have every single day customer passing the door and willing to judge you, willing to say if you worth a star Michelin, yes or not. Yeah. So that pressure was extremely hard and in the same time extremely good. Why? I have to say that understanding and knowing that pressure make me feel and understand that it was made for me. So I stay in that restaurant for 2.5 years, and I have probably 1 day off maximum per week, and then I work 14 to 16 hours per day.
Really?
I turned from commis to CDP, so chef de partie, in 2.5 years, till I finished.
Very quick, very fast.
Very quick, very fast. I work extremely hard.
I see.
On the low season, we were 5 in the kitchen to deliver 60 guests per day.
I see.
I was sleeping 4 hours, go to work 12 hours, take a break 2 hours, go back to work, etc., etc. And then the chef was so under pressure that I have to take every single time a step up.
I see.
I cannot stay on my position. I need to jump to the next one. So I grew up very quickly, but by doing 10 times more in a shorter time.
I see.
So fighting for the position. That was South
It's a good thing.
Indeed. You know, now I think there is a problem in overall that we all think it's gonna happen naturally, and we need the years to get the experience. Especially in Asia, you know, the age gonna make your experience. I'm not always agree with that. You can be a very young chef and talented chef at 25 years old. But in 5 or 7 or 8 years, you've been working non-stop. Because knowledge is not given. Knowledge, you go to reach it. And that's the big difference between myself and a couple of colleagues I do have at that time. They prefer go back home and get a lot of drinks and get a lot of party and get a lot of day off, where I just go back to rest a little bit and go back to work straight. Till my body asks me to rest, I still stay at work.
I see.
So it's beautiful, and in the same time, it's good to done that part when you're young. I cannot stand 16 hours anymore every day for years. But luckily I have the team now who support me to avoid doing that.
So one of the key to success in the kitchen, to my understanding, that means work hard and harder, correct?
I think if I have to say one word, especially to young generation who start now, is don't look after your time, especially the first few years. Look after how much you can learn. And don't hesitate to reach the knowledge. If you expect to go somewhere and to get naturally all the information, you are wrong. But if you go somewhere, you capture quickly how it works, how people are fighting for their job and their position, then you're going to grow 10 times faster. And don't hesitate to ask. And this is something I really push my team here, is every time they don't know, I ask them, why you don't ask? I know, but because you are busy, you don't have time. Blah, blah. I say, yeah, but if you do not make it happen, I cannot every single day come and train you. I need also you to come to me. And when you create this kind of cross-training, so he tried to give you information that you may don't know. I don't know a lot of things in Vietnam, and I still discover a lot. So I love when the team bring me some idea from Vietnamese cuisine, and opposite, I bring them the French cuisine. So it has to be in two ways. If it comes only because you fight and you want to be the best, but then you are limited to only your style, I think it's limited.
Yeah.
So try to fight for the good, and after all those heavy time working years, then you will understand what is your cuisine, what is your style.
You mentioned that when you start at the Michelin restaurant in the south of France, there was internal pressure.
Indeed.
I wonder whether people working here at Le Comptoir in Danang, the same pressure or not.
We need to ask the team.
I will tell you later because I already talked to your team.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is a very high pressure. I share a lot of my own pressure to the team. I do. Some will understand, some will not understand. Because a part of this pressure is to make them grow. This is the positive pressure. The negative pressure is when they do not trust themselves enough and take this pressure negatively and burn and boil by themselves instead of, that's a new challenge. I got the chance to have this challenge.
And I can overcome it.
Yes. So, of course, one of my chefs doing a mistake by do not preparing enough, by arriving late, and means the quality is dropping or the stock is not enough for the service, of course I'm gonna put negative pressure. But I will not put negative pressure to put him or her down. But I want him to remember how difficult was the service because of the mistake.
Okay. How you are going to avoid such kind of negative pressure, or you guys going to reduce salary from your employee in the kitchen, or any just warning or?
Alors, I do apply some time for mistake. I do apply some deduction on salary. It happens to me a couple of times, but it's not to take money, because if I apply deduction on salary, this money is taken for team outing.
Good.
So
good
it's
idea.
like take from your salary, put in a box, and with this money, all the team gonna have lunch or dinner together.
I like this idea.
It's really the spirit is what is. If you've been negligent, means like you do not respect the product, you do not follow the hygiene process, or you put the restaurant image in danger because of your behavior, then yes, I will be very strict. And it can go up to a warning, yes. But that is in the very last cases. I don't want that happen. Unfortunately, it did happen already. Because, you know, it's like managing a team, it's a non-stop maintaining a standard. And if Le Comptoir can stand after 6 years as one of the first French fine dining in central Vietnam, as one of the most well-known French restaurants across Vietnam, why and how? Because of consistency. And it's not because one of my team members got a heavy night the day before that the quality can drop.
Actually, I wanted to ask you the question, but you will answer my question.
Already?
Not in full. How come you can keep the quality consistent at Le Comptoir? Besides that one.
Alors, I think the best answer I have right now for this is the taste. And I don't need a chef to come over or a waiter to come over and got trained. I don't need that, because I gonna train them. Our way, our standard, our taste, our philosophy of food is different than somewhere else. And it's not because you've been working in one French restaurant that you know how to work at Le Comptoir. We, Miriam and I, so my partner and I, we both been through extremely high pressure restaurant, very high standard restaurant. So we both expect the team to be the same. And I'm sure one thing is whoever been working here for above a year can go to work anywhere else in Vietnam, because they will have the same standard and the same demand of pressure. So if I have to say how to keep this consistency, is by keep going on with a certain amount of pressure and a certain amount of understanding. I don't need a robot. I want them to become a real chef. I don't need them to be just follower.
That is what I want to say.
That's the things. If they are just follower, if they do a mistake, they will not understand why they make this mistake. Opposite, if they make a mistake, they ask me why it fell down, why it burned, why it's bitter, why it's overcooked, all those kind of things. First, that's not a mistake. That's a learning point. Second, by asking means you want to reach the knowledge. So that's an applause. And third is because they have done this mistake, they will remember it. And from that, they become better. And by become better means more consistent. And because they stay with me for at least 2 years, they will become more and more consistent. So I can maintain my standard, and I can also have a little bit more time for myself. So training them as much as possible, allow myself to move to the next step.
So I see the way how you keep the quality consistent. Talking about your staff, your employee, I had a chance to talk to a number of your staff here, especially Mr. Trường, the chef, the Michelin, and Mr. Hiệp, also sous chef. I remember what he talked to me and you mentioned to me about, but I think that it's good that you can, it's nice for you to share with our audience here.
Sure, I think there is, I really appreciate the way we build a team. And for me, the most important is the team. There is no restaurant without a good team. There is no one chef who stands alone. Never. It's going to be a lie to say that I'm the one, I'm the best
one.
Forget about that. And especially, I'm a little bit sometimes upset, don't get me wrong, but I really don't like those kind of chefs who feel like, without me, they cannot do anything. That's completely wrong. I'm the opposite. Because of them, I can do a lot of things. It doesn't mean I feel always happy. Sometimes I'm upset. Sometimes I give them a lot of complaint to wake up, to grow up. But opposite, for who's been working with me long time, understand now the desire to grow, the desire to become better. And that becomes for them now a proud side of their job. Because now they mostly extremely proud to be here. And I also apply a philosophy that if the restaurant is growing, if the revenue is growing, we share more to the team. So I want to move. Yes, it's needed. You know, I don't need to fill up my pocket. I don't need to fill up a bank account.
Well, maybe because your pocket already thick enough.
I got this sentence a couple of days ago. You know Tung from Tung Dining?
Yeah.
He said exactly the same 10 days ago.
You're on the same page.
He said you give too much to your team because your pocket is too full. I said no. I say, you know what? I think in central Vietnam there is not much restaurant who works like us and who have that much amount of team member. We start with 6. Now with the casual, the part-time and all the fixed team member, we are almost 38 people. So of course 38. We have a rotation, etc.
But a large group
yes,
of the people.
But we have not much turnover because we keep continue hiring and keep training to brought internally a raise.
And also to keep people motivated.
Of course.
I see the way Mr. Trường mentioned to me. At beginning, it was very hard for him. Huh?
Yes, I was extremely hard to him because he came here with a background of Quang Nhao style. Means he was doing everything without success. But for him, it was okay. I said, no. No. We need to go to perfection. And then he was having difficulty to bring the brain focus. And this is something from the new generation. Very hard for him to stay focused to one task until you succeed that task, and then it's accomplished. Means you know how. And whenever he was doing very good, the day after, brought back to zero. So every time I have to be extremely rude to him until the day he switched his way to understand the problem and how to find the solution by himself. From that day, he became a very good chef. And I actually promoted him recently to become a chef de partie now. Chef de partie, normally,
Chef de partie.
And it means you can really take over a full position with, you have staff under you. Means you know how to delegate to the others. You know how to bring creativity to your company, team, chef, etc. So it's a big challenge for him.
But actually, he has been promoted quite quick, to my understanding, after almost 2 years and
Yes.
2.5 or something like that.
So 2.5 years now, he has been promoted because if we go too slow under promotion, we don't give them the next challenge. I want him to grow. And in terms of position, if I just keep him at commis or demi, I will lose him at a certain time. And by giving him the position, I give always position by 2 months probation.
I see.
So I sit down, I have a talk, I highlight all the negative part of the attitude and the daily things. From that, I decide to challenge the person. And when I challenge Chung, I challenge 2 others in the same time. The 2 others, they fell.
I see.
Yeah. There was 2 commis, was supposed to become demi-chef de partie. And in the first month, 3 times they fell by overload themselves, overpressure themselves, and then couple of service under wrong operation, wrong mise en place, the stock and everything we say earlier. And from that I show them. And I sit down with them, I say, look, you understand that the promotion is too early for you. So that's the point, is reaching the challenge and give them the opportunity to grow. It doesn't come because I'm super happy and I want to give more money and I want them to become sous chef by tomorrow. No, it's not that. It's by bring them the challenge, they push themselves 3 times more. If you don't give challenge, they fall asleep.
And also the work and the life is very boring.
Indeed, and you know the restaurant is very busy. If you every day do the same, you start to get boring. Opposite, if you have the possibility to learn and to change position and to get to the point that you can go to the cold kitchen, to the hot kitchen, to the pastry, you can go to producing some what we call R&D, so the development of the recipe, etc., etc. Then it's not boring anymore.
Very interesting. But I want to ask you the questions. A lot of fine dining restaurant in Vietnam. And why you come up with the concept Le Comptoir in bistro style? Why?
The problem of fine dining in general is, for me, fine dining is a niche market. And it makes people a little bit scared at a certain stage. Because they are like, fine dining will be too formal, will be too expensive, and will be overcrowded or overlooking. Means too much service, too much attention, too much everything. Fine dining was not what I was aiming for. I was aiming for a bistro elegant where casual meet high-end. And that's the spirit behind. People establish and attribute ourselves fine dining, fair enough. If it's your perception of a fine dining, fair enough. But the perception I give to Le Comptoir is really an elegant, casual, bistro style French restaurant. And why? Because tables are next to each other. Nighttime it's a little bit noisy. It's a full open kitchen with a little bit the smell of the food in the pan. It's a boiling atmosphere during a service. You've been to Le Comptoir last days. You saw it's moving. It's not a corner extremely quiet with white napkins and a very formal service. No, it's alive. And for me, a restaurant is not made just to be a dinner. It's made to be an experience. Alors, if you expect the extremely high fine dining experience, formal, very classified into the classic range of French fine dining, you won't gonna have that here. Opposite, if you want to eat extremely high quality ingredients with very knowledgeable team members, staff who are serving it, cooking it, and tell you exactly why I choose to make it happen together, then you're gonna have a dinner at Le Comptoir.
Le Comptoir, also another meaning, or the perception or the concept. For the people, when people talk about Le Comptoir, it is the meaning of intimacy, family, friendly. So exactly we find here. So I came here a number of times. I see exactly the way you are doing. I think the right way, because here we not only want to have the elegant food, good quality, also we want the ambience and the place people get together, the place people enjoy the food. Correct?
That's the things.
That is why also it is the key to success of Le Comptoir today.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the most important is not to focus to be a fine dining or to be a formal restaurant. The most important and the key is, first, let's make our guests happy. Let's make them remember a good night. What you have done yesterday? We had an amazing night. Yes, where have you been? Le Comptoir. Oh, but it's a restaurant. Yeah, but we spend 3 hours on the table. We drink, we eat, we chit-chat, we laugh. We even finish with a sweet treat that the restaurant gives us for free. That was a good night. That's the spirit I would love to have. And we are trying every single day to offer that. It's a matter of, I think there is a lot of hotelier and hospitality member in Vietnam that at a certain stage they will move from their main topic at the beginning. My main topic since day one is to make people happy. This is where I think working in hospitality we should got our blood convert to that. Is how to satisfy our guests. Are we going to make 100% of our guests happy? No, maybe sometimes few will not understand and will not be happy. But at least you know that you had tried your best. That's for me the most important.
Okay. Tell me, nothing is perfect. And I think Le Comptoir the same thing. You maybe have some, we say catastrophe or negative feedback from the guests, not unpleasant experience? Do you have one, or how you guys fix this?
Alors, there is one thing that as a business owner and as a restaurant director and as a chef de cuisine, there is one thing that make us a little bit scared and always, how to say, having bad surprise is we are in Vietnam. And I will tell you one story that happened to us 5.5 years ago.
5.5 years ago, you still remember?
Yes, because it has shocked me for probably forever.
I see.
On that year, it was in 2019. In the spring, it was April or May, and we had a terrace at that time.
I remember.
You do?
But at that time, I have very good the French name. I still remember that one.
Ah.
And the sauce is so delicious. Huh?
I need to give you some next time. And then, so we had this terrace. We have the pétanque playground. We had this beautiful design, decor, lighting in the trees, very relaxing, very beautiful. And then we had a more and more and more demand, day to day, to welcome more guests every day. That was very good. But then I start to move people from the inside of the restaurant to the terrace when the weather was perfect. Unfortunately, we are and we were the only French restaurant at that time. In this area, we were the only premium restaurant at that time. So we were the only one in the entire area to do things that everyone will understand here. We do pest control. Do you know pest control, right?
I know.
So 2 or 3 times a month, we have the company coming, do the pest, so there is no flies, there is no mosquito, we don't have any rats. You know, this is normal in Vietnam.
And also it's very important.
It's so important. But the neighbor couldn't understand that. So no one was doing that. And I was willing to pay for the whole neighborhood, to have box for the rats, to have more spray all around the garden. But they say, no, it's not good for us. It's not good for us. I say, okay, I respect. But then one night, it happens that we have a group of 6 people from Singapore arrive, having dinner on the terrace, beautiful, everything's correct. And during the dinner, rats pass in the trees. 6 Singaporean who don't see any rats, who don't see any cockroach, who don't see any mosquito, just landed from Singapore and arrived in Vietnam and couldn't understand that it's happening here. 4 ladies, pretty woman, high heel, extremely well dressed, 4 boys, kind of like Moscow, very athletic boys, jump on the table and scream like hell for 5 minutes non-stop. And they were like, this is not acceptable, how can a restaurant like this, etc., etc. But how can I support, how can I say, how can I do things?
Out of your control.
And that was a very, very bad experience. Unfortunately, I couldn't control it. And I still cannot. It still can happen. Because we extend the restaurant step by step. So not every single centimeters of the restaurant is fully closed. We need to extend because we had only 1 toilet at the beginning. Now we have 4. We have only 4 tables at the beginning. Now we have 14.
We enlarge.
So it's good if you open a restaurant by tomorrow and you design it to be big. It's a fact. So you prepare everything. But I didn't design it to be big. I designed it to be my living room, my dining room at first. And then step by step it became a different zone of operation. Now we are sitting into the wine bar, we call it, wine bar area, because we have all the shop, the cheese, the cold cut, the wine, so you can grab your bottle. Then we have the main dining, which looks like more my dining area. And then we have the veranda now at the back, which is more for group, family, private. And or private. We had a lot of demand of company, groups who need a privacy. If they want to come to talk about business, or if some family want to come with some young kids that they know they're going to run everywhere, we don't want to impact the experience of the other guests. Vice versa, we want to offer the right experience to those guests. So that's why we extend. Now the fact is, we are extremely proud of what we have, but unfortunately a restaurant that hasn't been designed at first for it will suffer a little bit during the operation. That's what we are facing.
Actually, you already answered the question I wanted to ask
every time.
But just what I want to say that how much your personality reflect in your food, in your design, in your atmosphere. Besides what you mentioned to me.
I will say positive and negative. I will say sometimes too much and sometimes not enough. For two reasons. Sometimes too much, only me will understand. And only my dish will pop up and will catch up and understand by others. So that's a negative point. Opposite, sometimes I got too much demand for one dish, especially, or one special request, like you said, the snails. I had to keep the snails on the menu now. If I remove it, I had a lot of people gonna complain.
Of course.
And it's a pity because I love them, but I also love to change the menu so often. I don't want something boring. I don't want something that repeat non-stop and doesn't get to the point that there is no modernity behind. But there is few signature like that you will never be able to remove. It's also why we are a French restaurant. So, voila.
So, talking about the signature dishes, what are the signature dishes here?
Alors, I force myself to do not have signature. In the same time, I understand that people are craving for. So they want to come back after 6 months, after 3 months, after a year, and they want to have that dish that make them fly over from Hong Kong, Singapore, or Taiwan to come to this restaurant to have it. So lately I start to modify a little bit my perception of creating a dish. And I try to go deeper in my roots to understand what made me that much excited when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, when I was a young boy, when I start to become a man. And every single step of this personal life has brought me a different palate, has brought me a different sense of tasting. Lately, one of the dishes I have done and became a signature, if we have to say one, is the quenelle. You tried last time.
I tried.
Voilà.
I like it.
And I think it's also, it's the right dishes who bridge both culture. Because it's going to be properly understood by Asian customer and it will be understood by Western customer.
That is why I like it.
And me, honestly, it's a bit my Madeleine de Proust. Madeleine de Proust, for French people, it's the memory of the childhood, that it was so simple, but if one day in your life you try it again, you're going to have the emotions coming out. Madeleine de Proust. I will send you. For me, that quenelle, it used to be what my mom was cooking at home or what my grandmother was cooking at home. So in France, quenelle, and especially in Lyon, because it's coming from Lyon, it's a dish that you purchase at your, we call a traiteur, a shop where you can buy specialties. and you bought it, and then you prepare the sauce, you arrange everything, and then you bake all in the oven. And 5 minutes before it's ready, your mom or your grandmother is going to scream in the whole house, "Let's go on the table, it's ready, it's ready." So you move straight because you know it has to be eaten straight out of the oven. Because it's like a soufflé. So it fluff a little bit. When it fluff, it looks very nice, very elegant, and very soft to enjoy. And when it's fall down, it looks ugly and heavy. So that's why it's a memory dishes, and it
Childhood
became
memory.
yes, and it became a signature now.
Actually, when I read some feedback comment from the guests, I see a lot of people like, don't know what,
Which one?
like wagyu beef, tartar, roasted bone
Bone marrow?
marrow. You have a royal oyster, or correct?
Yes, and those are the things. Is the roasted bone marrow and tartar, I remove it
Why?
because it's too easy. I like to challenge myself.
But do you know that last time when I was here dinner, the lady sit next to me and we talk to each other.
Yeah.
And now we have contact.
Ah, nice.
She liked that one.
But that's the thing is, if you keep always the same menu and you never change, you will never have creativity into your cuisine. And if I keep all the signature and I never reach others, how can I grow? Of course, I have 2, 3, 4, 5,000 recipes in mind. And I probably have 700, 800 written in my book in the kitchen. Yes, but I still need to find more. You know, we have the chance as a cuisinier, as a chef, as a cook, as whoever you are in the hierarchy of the cuisine, we have the chance that we can discover, we can create.
Okay.
I'm sorry to say, but if you are a banker and you have to impute number in a computer all day long, you don't have this possibility of creation.
Okay.
So let's use it.
So that is very creative, chef. Talking about creativities, I have another question for you.
Please.
Do you use the local ingredients here to make with French food, or how you guys
Alors,
do it?
do I use local ingredient? Yes. Do I use only local ingredient? No. Because for me, there is a lot of good things in Vietnam, and there is a lot of things that are not yet to the standard I want to deliver here. Sorry to say, but Vietnamese beef is not very quality at the moment. It's something that is good for feeding people, is good to stew, is good to slice very thin for pho or for some spring roll or whatever. But Vietnamese beef is not a beef with a lot of taste, with a lot of fattiness and tenderness. So at the end, Vietnamese beef is like deep flavor and deep fragrance. So I don't use Vietnamese beef. From that, I import. However, there is a couple of things. Like me, there is one ingredient right now I'm using a lot is fish sauce. It's something like there is absolutely no one recipe in France with nuoc mam. Zero. It doesn't exist in our
That's
cuisine.
why I wanted to ask.
Sure, but you're right. Nuoc mam for me is something I discover only here. In China they use, in Hong Kong they use, but compared to Vietnam it's nothing. Vietnam you're gonna have fish sauce everywhere, with different fragrance, with different condiment, with different usage. But in the same time, nuoc mam is something that you can bridge between French food and Vietnamese cuisine. There is a couple of things. Lately, a friend of mine, maybe you know him.
Didier Coco.
Alors, Didier Corti has made a lot. There is another guy called Benoît Chéniaud. He's a French guy who is making fish sauce. And his brand is Chuben. And he tried to use the fish sauce from a small village next to Hoi An. And he get to the point that he make a smoked fish sauce. And the first time I tried this fish sauce, I was like, wow, that's something very special. And then next to that, I try all the different variants, so all the different mix he has prepared. He do a fondue fish sauce, which is a reduction of citrus and fish sauce. He do a wasabi fish sauce, which is just perfect, especially if you put into a tartare or something like this. So that's where I think fish sauce has been one of the most important twist and add-on to my cuisine lately that made a lot. I really, really appreciate that. After, spice in Vietnam in general are just stunning, honestly. I mean, I don't think there is a better country for the diversity of spice than Vietnam. Because if you really know spice, in Vietnam you're gonna get them fresh. You're gonna get them from the soil of where they're from. Like star anise. Star anise, we have it in Vietnam, fresh, semi-dry, dry, and used in many, many different recipes. But people doesn't even care about. For them, it's normal. In France, we use a lot of star anise, especially in the most famous drink we have in south of France, but we don't know where it comes from. And we don't know that it's green at first. It's coming from a special trees, then it has to be fermented, then it has to be dry. No one knows about that. So how do I combine local ingredients to French cuisine? First, by discovering it. Second, of course, listening about the story. And third, having fun with them. You just go in the kitchen, you try to put a little bit everywhere. Sometimes it fell. Sometimes it's a success.
Sometimes it didn't work.
And voilà. And that's where. And also, you know, there is a lot of similar points between Vietnamese cuisine and French cuisine. All about the broth, all about the stew, all about the seasoning, all about the roasting. We have a lot of similar, very same way, same approach of considering the cuisine between Vietnamese cuisine and French cuisine. So it's so easy to just look after someone, Vietnamese chef, or even Vietnamese mom, cooking, that you can get inspired to adjust that and put it into your French cuisine.
I see.
Et voilà.
So, voilà. What is the philosophy of Le Comptoir, the cuisine here?
For me, the philosophy, first of all, is, as I mentioned, is to be ambassador of French gastronomy. So the philosophy is to deliver the true taste of French cuisine. I don't go with frou-frou, tra-la-la. It's not because I'm going to put a nice plate that I will have a nice dishes. The true philosophy and the true essence of Le Comptoir and the cuisine I serve here is, let's come to discover French taste. That's the meaning. I can add on fish sauce, I can add on local seafood, I can add on local spice. It remains French cuisine. Why? Because the technique, the way we select the ingredients, the way we cook it, the way we reduce it, the way we operate and serve it, it's a true French experience. So what is the biggest mindset and guideline that I assume every single day is that, is let's be French ambassador of French gastronomy, French culture into Danang, Vietnam.
Okay. So we talk about philosophy. Now, one more question.
Please.
How come you make Le Comptoir stand out of other restaurants in Danang?
Alors, I will say there is two criteria who made us standing out of a restaurant in Danang. First, we were the first French dining experience before COVID who was reaching high-end product, high-end quality of service, and high-end experience. So that made, at that time, a big difference between us and others. And next to that, during COVID, we never stopped. Whenever government shut us down because of the pandemic, and of course for the safety of the population and everything, no doubt about that. It's more like whenever we could reopen, we open. Whenever we have to shut down, in 48 hours we were closed. It has been very difficult. It has been extremely challenging to keep the team, to keep fighting about quality, to keep fighting to maintain our standard. It was very tough. Opposite, we never lose our audience. So naturally, in March 22, when the borders reopened, we've been successful straight. I think that has been a big difference between us and others. And if we have to talk about right now, one of the most important is the balance we have here. You can have good food, but you can also have very good service. And my partner Miriam and I, the complementary of each other is she's taking care of the front of house and the sommelier. I'm taking care of the culinary and the overall experience. Means I'm in charge of the head of Le Comptoir. She takes care of all the body and I take care of the belly. And
she as you can care of Le Comptoir soon.
Yes. As you can see, the belly, I know. It's something for me, we should be very serious, we should be very focused, but we also should remember that a restaurant is a moment to share. So if we are not happy and excited of what we are delivering, like many restaurants are, unfortunately in Danang there is a lot of people who doesn't believe in themselves enough, and or a lot of investors are going to be here, invest money, put a chef or put a general manager, and then let it run by himself. But it's a fight of day to day to make it successful. And that made us truly different than others. That's my point of view.
Thank you for your answer. Have been first restaurants recognized on award by the world French restaurants, being Michelin selected restaurants. Did it change the way you run and you manage Le Comptoir, or you still keep the same the way you did before?
Alors, it didn't change anything. For two reasons. Because I think if we've been granted that, it means our standard was recognized by good people, inspectors, and our value has been transmitted to high sphere, if I may say. Why should I change that? Did it impact us? Did it make us more busy? Did it make us more under the loop and the scope and the light? Yes, it is.
I think yes.
Yes, it is.
You know why?
Tell me.
Because it's not easy to make the booking here. You remember last time I tried to book the table here with my friend.
Yes.
You say to me, sorry, no table available. It's on one side it's nice from Le Comptoir, on the other side sometimes.
and you are right. This is something that doesn't make me happy at all. But the reality is to keep our standard and to maintain this soul, body, energy, quality, I limit myself. Every night, if I want, I can go on much higher number, more customer. But I have to be honest, if we go above the capacity of the team, we are going to deliver a bad experience.
Correct.
We open the door at 5 p.m. every day. we have people waiting outside at 4:45. Every restaurant around us will do one thing. They will open the door at 4:45 and stress themselves and speed up. I say no. Oh no, my chef, they are waiting. It's too hot outside. Yes, let them sit in the shop. Yeah, but we are saturated. Yes, they book at 5. We're going to open the door at 5. Are they going to complain? No. It's just like we need to have standard. And I have to say that we should not have the fear to say, sorry, we are fully booked. It's not nice, but it's better to say that and deliver a true experience for everyone who has been booked than try to accommodate more and deliver a 70% experience. So, no, I'm not happy to say no to you. I'm sorry. Yeah, I have a story I need to tell you, but the daughter of one of the most famous person in Vietnam lately came over, and we didn't recognize who she was. And on that night, we were completely full. And she arrived between two services. So we have the first sitting and the second sitting. And she arrived around 7:30, 7:45. And the second sitting was starting at 8:30. So a lot of table was empty and renewed for the second service. She was so upset we didn't take her. And I'm very apologize for that, but was completely full. But those kind of person, normally in Vietnam, they arrive in every single restaurant. And everyone will, yeah, sure, give me 3 minutes, please. Have a glass of champagne on me. Let me arrange, let me find. First, the team didn't recognize who is she. And second, we couldn't make it. So she was a little bit upset and she quit a little bit nervous. But I wish to invite her one more time. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it. And I will never go above, even if the Prime Minister or the French ambassador are coming. If I cannot, I cannot. My guests, sometimes they book 6 to 8 months in advance to come here. I'm sorry, but they are the priority of the night. And if I have to say no to a booking, it's never by pleasure. Never.
No, actually, I understand your position, and I appreciate the way you are managed Le Comptoir. It's the way you keep the quality and stand out from other.
And I appreciate the fact that you can recognize that, because it's not because I say no to you one time that you didn't come back. And I know a lot of customer has been frustrated about the fact that we are booked and fully booked, and I have lost a big part of the community, especially Danang community, because of that. So trust me, it's not something I'm proud or happy about. But if it's the reality, I have nothing to say then sorry, can you try for tomorrow or the day after? And that's it.
But I'm sure that she will come back.
I hope so. I received a text from a very good friend we have in common in Hanoi who called me maybe 30 minutes after she left and say, Olivier, do you know who you say no right now? I say, no. You know the daughter. Oh.
Sorry, but I have no choice.
That's going to be a drama again. But really no choice.
But we are talking about Danang. Why you choose Danang, the place to open Le Comptoir?
Why not? My question is revert. Why not? I think Danang, and I wish to be an ambassador of Danang for multiple reasons. But for me, Danang is the city in Vietnam that has best lifestyle in the entire country. In terms of architecture, in terms of spirit, in terms of culture / surrounding, the mountain, the river, the sea, the farm, the organic growth, vegetable, etc., etc. The possibility of grow. When I arrived in Da Nang, I was impressed. All the streets are large, are wild. There is no traffic jam. You have an international airport right in the heart of the city. You have massive investment made by big group that stand out in Da Nang to make the city well known. Saigon, Ho Chi Minh, it's beautiful. It's nice. It's boiling. There is much more challenge up there. But it's saturated. Hanoi is charming. Hanoi is a kind of lifestyle that I love to be for a couple of days only. It's too saturated and too old that it's getting too crowded and too, how to say, you feel a little bit, I won't say bad feeling, but I can say that.
That means if you are tourist, you like the place,
yes,
but stay longer, you want to stay in Da Nang.
Hanoi for me is the most charming city in Vietnam. But for a couple of days or a couple of hours.
It's nice.
Da Nang is my house. A very well-known football player that was promoting a complex here. He was saying that, but Da Nang is literally what I call home now. And Da Nang is boiling at the moment. It's growing, maybe a little bit too fast. But it remains, for me, the best choice that we have made so far.
I see. Talking about Da Nang, another question.
Please.
How the Da Nang people or Vietnamese people open to French cuisine? Because when I come here, I see international tourists and people from different countries. Also, I see the local people. But how just people
understand? Alors, one of the challenges we have and we faced in Da Nang was that the local people didn't react really well about the French food and especially le comptoir food.
Really?
Yes, for two reasons. We don't do a classic French. We do a modern French. And that modernity and that style of cuisine is not common. So not everyone will understand. And Da Nang was nothing 10 years ago. Ho Chi Minh 30 years ago was already something boiling. Was already something with a lot of history behind. Da Nang was nothing. So the generation now who start to really catch up and really get excited about Le Comptoir is the young generation. The oldest generation, 35, 50 plus, don't come often here. Few of them, yes, we have a regular database of Vietnamese guests, but our mainly Vietnamese guests coming here, young people, 20 to 30 each, max years old, and that's our customer. Opposite, we have a couple of extremely wealthy guests that been traveling the world, that been experience fine dining in Paris, in New York, in Dubai, in everywhere. And whenever they have international guests, they will come here because they know they're gonna have the same standard as when they go abroad to a star Michelin restaurant, and they want to impress their guests. That in Da Nang we have it too.
One of my friends, they are not young people, and my close friends, they appreciate your food very much, and they're very famous, also well known in Vietnam. You may know that Madame Yen from Hassan, She liked the way you cook, and last time when I was here, I have photo with you. I sent it to her, and she wanted to send regard to you. Remember?
I do. I had her and the husband. I had the chance to serve them in a private catering lately.
With Mr. Tang,
Exactly.
from that Viet.
Yes, exactly. And Mr. Tan is a very regular guest. Whenever he passes to Da Nang, he is going to pop up by the comptoir. But this is also for me a kind of guest that has been eating all around the world. And she knows ingredients. She have an excellent palate. She know exactly the aroma, the specificity of the dishes, the seasoning that you brought to the plate. She's a foodie. She's a very good foodie. And I had the chance to cook for her twice already. And I hope when she's going to pass by again Da Nang, I will serve her one more time. But it's not just a matter of the age, it's the matter of the discovery.
Correct.
You are completely right. The young generation will get attracted because it's a trend to go to fine dining. Where the oldest generation will go for a choice. I want to have a French dinner. And also, don't get me wrong, Le Comptoir is not accessible to all pocket. We are not in a cheap segment of market. Exactly. We are more into a premium market. So our average ticket is more in the upper level than the lower side. So for who pass the door, sometimes it's going to be just one dishes to share for three and two main courses to share for three because they cannot afford much more. No problem. As long as you pass the door and we spend a night together, it's the most important. After, when you have someone like Madame Hien who say, I had dinner at Le Comptoir, or I had dinner with Chef Olivier, and I really appreciate that, that's not a matter of price. That's a matter of affect. You feel granted and you feel proud of it. Et voilà.
So we're talking about the young generation. If you want to give one piece of advice to younger people who want to follow in the F&B, in the kitchens, what is your advice?
If I have to make it in one sentence, it's not going to be enough.
One piece of advice that means whatever you...
Okay. I have to say that hospitality is something that will never be replaced by AI. So whatever happens, we're still going to have to serve people and make people happy. Because there is one thing that we are 100% sure is human need to eat. Right?
Yes.
We can serve by robot. We can cook by robot. But we will never exchange a smile with a robot like you and I are doing right now. So if you want to go for hospitality, you must make sure that you want to be facing humans. Do you like humans?
Of course.
That's the things. So don't do hospitality, don't do F&B, don't do all the works around F&B and hospitality if you don't like humans. And by that, start to open your ear and take note of all the beautiful story you're going to have around you. That's going to make you become a good professional in hospitality.
Thank you, Olivier, and I appreciate your timing with Hotelier Vietnam today. And thank you for stopping by. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. And thank you for your time again.